All right. Well, tonight for dinner we're gonna have homemade biscuits and gravy with eggs and probably some bacon. So it's like, hey, I've never done a video on that because pretty much everything's gonna be made from scratch. So we're gonna do that tonight. We figured we'd show you how I do that. It's a pretty simple recipe. It's done with flour. Lard. We're actually going to use lard, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, and baking powder, and buttermilk. So give me a second here and I'll show you all the ingredients and give you the amounts, and yeah, we'll get mixing with it. Okay. So what we got, 3 cups all-purpose flour. Okay, and put that in there. Then what I'm going to add is my 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Half a teaspoon of sea salt. And then a tablespoon and a half of sugar, just to add a little bit of sweetness to it. Take all these dry ingredients. I just take a whisk, mix them all up. And then what I'm going to do is 1 cup of shortening, or in this case we're going to use lard. We're going to put that in there, and then using a pastry knife, what we're going to start doing is cutting in all the lard until it resembles a crumbly wet sand that'll you can hold and stick together but yet crumble it on up. And then once it gets to that point, then we're going to add our 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. So we're going to sit here, cut this in, and when I'm done with this, we'll show you. All right. Like I said, we got that all where it's shortening's all in little itty bitty crumbly pieces. Like I said, if you can take it, you can hold it in your hand, give it a squeeze, and it'll hold together but easily break up. That's about what you want for cutting in all the shortening. It doesn't have to be lard. We're doing it old school. With the lard, you can do it with vegetable shortening. You can do it with butter, which I've done before too. But once you get that in there, you're going to take your 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk, pour that in there, and then pick up your pastry knife and go back to it again. And you keep going till you get this all mixed together and cut in, and when it's ready to turn out, and pat down by your hands, and then we'll use a 3-inch little biscuit cutter that I got over here, and we'll cut them out, put them on the pan, stick them in the oven. So I'll get this all done and I'll get back to you. All right, now that we got that all done with our buttermilk, I just got a little bit extra flour here, and I'll just sprinkle it out on my countertop. And then we're going to turn the biscuit dough out. And then, mine's kind of tacky, but then again, that's because I like mine a little bit more moist, not as dry. But that's just me. I just kind of knead it in there a little bit. I said, well, hand press most of it right on down. And once we get it somewhat about as thick as my fingers, about like that, Got my little 3-inch biscuit cutter. And I just come around here and just start cutting biscuits. So we'll keep doing this until be a pain in the butt. I run out of dough, and I will put them on a cookie sheet for starting out about 18 minutes at 325, 350. Put it around there. Everybody's ovens are different, so I just periodically check it and then pull them out once they're golden brown on top, and we'll come back to you here as soon as I get them on the cookie sheet and they go in the oven. All right, now that we're all done, we got our cookie sheets out here, or baking sheets, whatever you want to call them, and we're going to, I lightly grease these because it's just me, even though there's all that lard in them. But they stick a little bit anyways. But we're going to stick them in here because this will roughly give you, 14, 15 biscuits on average. So we got what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, or 14. 14, sorry. But like I said, we're going to stick them in the oven at 350, and I'm going to set my timer for 12 to 18 minutes in between, or probably 18 minutes, and I just periodically always just keep peeking at them until they start to golden brown on top. I use air bake sheets. I like them. Less chance of them to burn on the bottom, if you know what I mean. I always seems to have that problem with me when I bake biscuits. So I do it this way, but I'm going to show you a neat trick if you ever have that problem to get rid of that. So we're going to go and stick these in the oven. And then when they're all done and we pull them out, we'll come back and we'll try them out hot and fresh. All right, timer went off and we peeked at them and they're just starting to get golden brown. So we're going to pull them on out. Let them cool off a little bit, and then we'll cut one open and give it a taste test here. So, oh, look at that. Love homemade biscuits from scratch. So, like I said, we're going to let them cool off here for a little bit. Then we'll open one up, and, of course, we got to add a little butter and honey to it just to taste test it. So, oh yeah, nice and golden brown. Ooh, they're a little warm. But we'll see you in a few minutes. All right. Let them cool off a little bit. Still got some nice heat coming off them, but at least now you can handle them. So, like I said, time to open them up. Oh, look at that. And a little steam. We're going to add some butter. Nice and flaky there. Like that. Oh, yeah. And just a drizzle of honey on either one of them. And we're going to see how we turn out. I'm going to give one of them to my lovely camera lady. And here we go. Oh yeah. All right. Now it's time for the homemade sausage gravy for biscuits and gravy. You gotta get your pan hot first. Add a little bit of oil to it, about a teaspoon and a half. This is our homemade breakfast sausage that we make. It's coarse ground. One of these days we'll give you a recipe about that. But we're gonna get it in here and we're gonna get this all browned up first. And the secret with cast iron, believe it or not, is to make sure your pan's hot first before you put your product in it. That way it sears and it releases. If you don't, you're gonna get it sticking to the bottom of your pan. So right now we're just gonna sit here, crumble it up, mix it up, and when it's all said and done, we'll be back to talk to you. And it looks like the new puppy found the cat. You better be careful over there, Hematite. That cat's got claws still, but till then, we'll see you in a few. All right. Now that we got our sausage all browned up, crumbled up there, like I said, if you can see or not, there's really not that much juice in there, any grease, because ours is a little bit drier the way we like it. But we're going to drain this on out, or dump it on out into the bowl over here. Let it set while I start making gravy. So I'm going to take it, put it in this bowl, get this all out. That's what I mean. You pretty much don't get anything stuck to your pan if you do it that way. So now to get ready for the gravy, the ingredients are basically salt, flour, butter, and I use whole milk just because I like it that way, and black powder, or black pepper, black powder. Oof. But we're going to be doing 6 cups of milk, and so for that ratio, believe it or not, there's a lot of us, so we go through a lot of this. What we're going to do is make our roux first. We're going to start with 8 tablespoons of butter. All right, that's basically 1 stick. We're going to start to get that to melt down. Then we're going to add our 8 tablespoons of flour. And then our salt. If I remember right, I do believe it's a teaspoon of salt. And once we get that all down in a nice little paste for a roux, then we're going to add our 6 cups of whole milk, and we will start mixing that up as it thickens.
So for a regular white sauce, it's 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/4 a teaspoon of salt, and then 1.5 cups of milk.
Yes.
Then we obviously multiply that.
Because, there's a lot of us. So, all right, here comes our flour. And I like to use bamboo, in case you guys haven't noticed yet. Just for a simple fact, I don't want to mess up my cast iron. But here you go. Yep, making a mess. Make ourselves a nice pasty roux. Got to get this all going together really good. Make sure it combines very well. Otherwise, from my experience, your gravies, because that's basically what you're making, a gravy, gets really, really clumpy, pasty, and who wants to bite into a awesome dinner and find out that you got a big clump of flour in there. So this is your roux. And once you get that going in there, then we're going to slowly add, so I don't make a bigger mess, our milk. I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit so I don't scorch it. Your best bet is to constantly keep it moving. That'll also help keep it from burning and scorching. My camera assistant. Yay. All right. So, then we're going to stand here and do this for a while, and a while, and a while. So, once it starts to thicken up and we can start adding some of our sausage back in there. Like I said, that was a whole package of sausage. It was like 2 pounds for that package of sausage. We'll probably use at least half of it in here, and then we can put the rest of it in the fridge for future meals, almost like a homemade version of Hamburger Helper, but we'll use sausage, or a red sauce, we'll use sausage in it. You know, we got a few plans coming up for the rest of the week for dinners, and it calls for our sausage. So I know I gotta get that video out there on how we make it. I know we got a bunch more pork ready. So I will get back to you when we get ready to add our sausage into this.
Okay.
All right. We're starting to thicken up there really good right now. Added some pepper to it. We're going to add some more fresh ground. I'm getting old. Battery powdered. So, but, oh yeah. Looks good. Starting to bubble up there, so we're going to turn the heat back down a little bit. Then we're going to take some of our sausage. We're just going to mix around in there a little bit, about half of it. Right. Go from there. Nice and easy. Didn't want to have to get the great big pan out. Figured I'd use this one. Yeah. Now that nobody's around, they're off doing their things. We gotta add more sausage. Oops.
I heard you.
You didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, but
Don't
it's
tell
okay.
Don't tell your mom. Hi. Honey.
It's okay, Dad. Look it that way.
So, but yeah, we're gonna add that in there. We're going to let it heat the sausage back up a little bit. Most of the sausage was heated up already. And then, we're going, oh yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I gotta get us going. All right, here we go. Very good.
I want to put a little piece of sausage.
Well, of course you do. But well, like I said, we add pepper to it. Then everybody in this house is all touchy about salt, so we don't ever do the salt besides a little bit there in the beginning, because I like mine really salty. So, but yeah.
It's really good.
And then we're gonna get this going, and then I'm gonna fry up some farm fresh eggs from our chickens, because we actually got one of our daughters right now that's out running around picking some up, and we're gonna have dinner. So till next time, enjoy.